All right, we should be good. We should be back in the building on this Wednesday morning. It's hump day. And I'm glad to see everybody who's in here. We should be good. Y'all know what to do. Let me know what you think about this. We're getting started on Wednesday. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Drop a 1 in the chat if you can see me. And welcome y'all to another YouTube live stream and another episode of the ClassE Morning Show. I'm your host ClassE of patreon.com/ClassEbeats. By the way, the link is in the description as well as in the pinned comment in the chat. We've got a lot of Alicia Andrews we're going to get to today. Recently, it has been revealed some of the text messages Alicia Andrews was sending, and it's not looking great. It looks like she may have been very involved in this whole Fulio shooting. We're going to talk about it here later. We've got a couple hours worth of court proceedings we're going to get to. Also, we're going to start out the show talking about Michael Proctor. It looks like he's being protected by the judge. And it's going to be interesting to see what these text messages actually show. We'll get into that shortly. But before I do, I gotta say what's up to the people, man. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. So good to see y'all. Hopefully you're doing well. We got my awesome, amazing Amy is in here first thing this morning, reminding y'all to like the video. As always, Les Cleaver's up in this thing. We got Just Saying with Alicia. Taco Tuesday is in here. Feeling good on this Wednesday, the day after Taco Tuesday. Every day is a good day for a taco though. And the big dog J Money is in here as well, reminding y'all to like the video on your way in. All right. So thank you to everyone who's in the building. If you could, I don't ask for much on this show, but I do ask that you like the video on your way in. Likes are free, helps the channel continue to grow. Lets the algorithm know that y'all are enjoying the show. It shares the video, the channel, the live stream with more people. Also, if you're feeling extra generous, you can share out the video as well. There's a little button, it says share on it. It also has an arrow curved and pointing to the right. You can click that and share the video to your group chat. You can share it to Facebook, Instagram, X, wherever you're going to be on social media, and even in a text message as well. All right. Thank you to those of you who have already done that. I see y'all so much out here sharing the video, and every time I do, I reshare it, especially those of you who share over on X. So thank y'all for that. Excuse me. Still fighting this cough a little bit, so I've got some cough deterrent here we're going to be working on throughout the show. So again, y'all bear with me. Even though we over here fighting, we are not going to miss the show. So thank y'all for being here. Thank you for supporting. Also, I will be giving a special shout out and a thank you to everyone who goes the extra mile and sends in super chats. I know a couple of y'all have done that already. So thank you again to the gang. Shout out to my guy, one of the hardest working dudes I know, Les Cleaver in here, dropped the 5 bomb and says, bless all of you. It's getting colder, so stay healthy, safe, and warm. Live in peace and show compassion to others. Amen. Thank you for the love, Les Cleaver. And thank you for the reminder to stay warm. Yep. Also, this weekend, the clock is going back. We are getting an hour back. I'm so excited about this. Fall back. Daylight savings time is this weekend, so make sure y'all get your clocks ready. Make sure you enjoy your extra time sleeping in on Sunday too. So it's going to be a good time. Looking forward to that as well. Kathy's in here, says Proctor should be in jail with Higgins and the McAlberts, Cox, and Morrissey. Which Michael do y'all think is going to get locked up first? Michael Cox or Michael Morrissey? We'll have to wait and see. I don't think Michael Cox deserves to be locked up from what we've seen so far, but he's been implicated in some wild stuff, as y'all saw. If you missed that video, we talked about Michael Cox. Make sure you go back and watch it as well. Mr. Tesla's in here. We got Valerie up in this thing. And also, we've got Mary in here. Thankfully, I know who it is because YouTube changed the names back to @. Shout out to Mary in the building. It says, morning. Been stuck at work. Glad I can finally join alive again. Your potential is the sum of all the possibilities God has for your life. Amen. Remember that. Wow. Shout out to Mary for that good word. Thank you for stopping by. Always good to see you in the chat as well, Mary. All right. Speaking of Proctor, we're going to go ahead and get into it. Les Cleaver's on the break. Enjoy your lunch break, Les Cleaver. You know we're going to be here rocking and rolling for a little while, so feel free to stop by anytime you get a chance to. I appreciate you, and thanks for the super chat as well. We'll go ahead and get into what's going on with Proctor. Again, if y'all haven't, like the video on your way in, share it if you're feeling generous, and let's see what's going on here with Michael Proctor. So we just found out over the last couple of weeks that Michael Proctor has text messages that are going to be revealed at some point, hopefully, that span over the last 13 years. And the important thing about that is we've already seen the corruption just in this Karen Reed trial that Michael Proctor is capable of. So it begs the question, how much more are we going to find in these text messages? Well, we get a little bit of insight here by this new order from the judge into maybe what actually could be happening and what we could see in these text messages. And it gets crazy. Shout out to Amy. She posted this over on X. If you don't follow Amy and you want to keep up to date on a lot of the things we talk about here on the show and other breaking news, make sure you follow her at IAMYLEIGH over on X. That's IAmyLee on X. She says, TheBoston.com says highly sensitive data was found on Michael Proctor's phone, prosecutors say. Are we surprised? No. One text chain, Amy says, from the device allegedly included image of intimate body parts and the name of a SA victim, among other data. I'm sure this goes deep. Y'all know Boston 25 is on it. Let's see what they have to say.
25 Investigates is learning more about what's on ex-state trooper Michael Proctor's cell phone. Investigative reporter Ted Daniel is joining us now live. Ted, you obtained an interesting court filing late this afternoon.
Yeah, Rachel, we told you earlier this week that Proctor dropped his appeal to get his job back with state police after thousands of new items were found on his personal cell phone, including text chats, audio files, pictures, and video. We're getting a little more information about that now. Some details are contained in a new court filing from the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office. The filing says Proctor's phone contains sensitive images of intimate body parts of people not on the text chain. Screenshots of Facebook posts, phone numbers, and emails of all the people Proctor communicated with, and the name of a sexual assault victim.
So the next question we would ask is, are the people who were included in these text chains going to be held accountable? We saw Yuri was held accountable when he was on the second Karen Reed trial, and even some of the first one too, for saying that he felt like Michael Proctor conducted himself with integrity. Michael Proctor handled things the right way, although he agrees that maybe he shouldn't have said some of the things he said and shared sensitive information with his sister. Well, now we're finding out there were more things that were shared over a longer history in this text chain. Who was included in there? What's going to happen to them?
Contains sensitive images of intimate body parts of people not on the text chain. Screenshots of Facebook posts, phone numbers, and emails of all the people Proctor communicated with, and the name of a sexual assault victim. The Norfolk DA's office is asking a judge to restrict the public release of those items and a lot of other sensitive data from Proctor's phone. The DA's office continues to review an extraction of that phone. A judge has ordered prosecutors to share any data that is considered favorable to defendants in several cases Proctor investigated. The filing does not say if the intimate body part images are connected to a case Proctor work or images shared among friends. The DA's office says it will allow a judge to privately determine what items are relevant to other criminal cases before sharing them with defense attorneys. For 25 Investigates, I'm Ted Daniel.
Yeah, no big deal. It was just images shared among friends. You guys know. It could have been anything. It could have been, I'm not going to name anything, but wow. Well, let's see what the court decided and why they decided to make this decision. We've got Boston over here, Boston.com, who broke the article. What did they say? Highly sensitive data found on ex-trooper Michael Proctor's phone, prosecutors say. One text chain from the device allegedly includes images of intimate body parts and the name of a SA victim, among other data. This just went down. A review of Michael Proctor's personal cell phone data revealed not only the ex-trooper's crass text about Karen Reed, but images of intimate body parts and other sensitive information, prosecutors said in a court filing on Friday. The disclosure came just days after Michael Proctor dropped an appeal to win back his job with the Massachusetts State Police as his lawyer cited newly available but unspecified disclosure. They knew he was cooked. They let it go. He's not getting his job back. The Norfolk County District Attorney's Office had recently issued a notice regarding data from Proctor's phone that stretched back as far as 2013 and contained material potentially relevant to other cases he investigated. We talked about this on the other video. There's probably going to be a lot of things that are filed from representatives of people who were thrown in jail because of Michael Proctor's investigation. Seeing everything that came out, were there more investigations that were compromised? Seeing this guy's behavior, seeing the consistency of how he was moving so corruptly, it would be simple for us to think that this wasn't the first time he had done something like this, and that this has happened multiple times before. In a motion Friday to shield the contents from the public, prosecutors said their review of the personal cell phone is ongoing. It's going to take a while, and they are in the process of turning over text change, audio files, and videos spanning many years. One text chain contains highly sensitive information, including images of intimate body parts of people not participating in the chat, screenshots of Facebook posts by non-participants, images of non-participants, full phone numbers and or personal email addresses of the text chain participants, and the name of an SA victim, prosecutors wrote. Judge Peter Krupp, that sounds too close to another word. Anyway, granted the protective order, allowing the defense attorneys to receive a copy of the files from Proctor's phone, but barring them from sharing the material publicly. Do y'all think it's going to happen? I can only hope. That's the type of correction that we need. Just put the information out there. No, I'm kidding. The lead investigator into the death of Karen Reed's boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, Proctor shot to infamy over the vulgar and misogynistic text he sent about her to his friends, family, and coworkers. Those messages came to light during a now closed federal investigation into the case and included crass remarks about Karen Reed's health. He said she had a leaky balloon knot, and appearance. A joke, he said she was flat. A joke about searching for nude photos on her phone, and a comment expressing hope that she might delete herself. Reed has long maintained she was framed for the murder in a vast law enforcement conspiracy, naming Proctor as one of its linchpins. While Karen Reed was ultimately acquitted of murder and manslaughter charges in June, the high-profile case has had lasting impressions and implications for Proctor and his other investigations. State police suspended Proctor amid a lengthy internal affairs investigation and ultimately fired him in March, as we know, citing in part his conduct during Reed's case. His union, the State Police Association of Massachusetts, initially came to the defense and alleged the firing was guided by expedience, the relentless drumbeat of conspiracy theorists, and the intense glare of the media spotlight. It's amazing to me that the BPD and even the union just doubled down on this man's innocence and that he shouldn't have been fired. After all we were able to see for ourselves, common sense would tell you, hey, this is not a person I want representing the state of Massachusetts. It's not that complicated, guys. Is this the type of guy you want people to think of when they think of the state police? No. So yes, he should have been fired. He was giving information that was not classified. He was giving police information about an ongoing investigation to his family members. He was talking very unprofessionally about Karen Reed, about the investigation, the way he mishandled evidence. It is not that deep. And then they're going to double down and say, oh, well, it's the conspiracy theorists. They just wanted him gone. It's just the professional side of it. He shouldn't have been there. In an about face, however, the union recently pulled its support for Proctor's Civil Service Commission appeal after additional phone data came to light. This is really what it took for you guys to threaten that we were going to release 13 years of his phone data. Following the discovery of new evidence of Michael Proctor's cell phone, the State Association of Massachusetts Executive Board unanimously voted to sever all support for his appeal. Well, you don't say. President Brian Walsh said in a statement, "We hope this decisive move closes a deeply embarrassing chapter in the state police history." Boy, how quickly the tides have turned. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments in the chat. Michael Proctor, he needs to go. The consequences from this, I think, are going to be overwhelming. And it's sad to see that it took this for the union to finally say, maybe he messed up. He's not going to get his job back. Let me know what y'all think in the comments and in the chat. Crazy. And we even have the document here showing what happened. I'll probably go through this at a different time. Can I download this or do I have to log in and do all that? Nah, I'm not going to do all that. We'll get into this at a later date. Shout out to everybody who's in here, man. I see y'all in the building. Good to see everyone in here. We've got 50,000 of y'all in the building. No, there's more of y'all in here than that. Shout out to all 8,000 of you that are in here. We're going to get into Alicia Andrews here shortly, but this is crazy. Deeply embarrassing. What a joke. Be More, what's good? Shout out to everyone that's just joining us. Mr. Brown's in the building. We've got, I don't know who that is. Oh, it's YouTube messed up your names, man. Shout out to BB245 is in here as well. Same was what was on Brian Alberts and Higgins' phones and who told them to get rid of them the day before the court order went out. Whoever's at the top, most likely. I mean, you've got the commissioner meeting with Kelly Dever as she's about to testify, so I wouldn't be surprised if it were Judge Cannoni. I mean, why not? I mean, shout out to the Honorable Judge Cannoni, I guess, but we don't know what to believe anymore. Proctor's looking a bit crazy. That is putting it lightly. Yeah, Proctor's not getting his job back. Not at all. Let me see what else y'all are saying. For some reason, I lost my mouse. Give me 1 second. Well, that's weird. Hold on a second, guys. I just lost my mouse, so I have no mouse right now. All right, here we go. Let's see. We've got how much money and effort was spent to cover things up. Who helped cover this up? That's a good question. That's a good question. Good morning to y'all saying good morning. You can delete texts, but they are always out there. The cloud knows all, as they say. We are still at the beginning. Shame on all the cover-ups of the cover-ups. And like they said, they got Dever. Alan Jackson got Dever. Now Michael Cox is the next one in the crosshairs. What's going to happen? Ducky Dexter's in here said, you didn't say Dever's name correctly. Sorry, Officer Dever, as I should say. Shout out to Alan Jackson. All right, y'all hit that like video. We're going to go ahead and get into our next topic. Thankfully, I don't have to do too much clicking around today because I cannot use this mouse the right way, but we're going to figure it out. So we're going to get back into this Alicia Andrews trial. I had so many different topics to cover today. And then when I found out what happened on day 5, I knew we had to spend a significant amount of this show on Alicia Andrews, not only because y'all are loving the Alicia Andrews content in general, but because of what happened and what went down here. So we're going to get back into this trial. It's going to be crazy. In case you haven't heard, Alicia Andrews is getting exposed for her involvement in the shooting with Julio Fulio, right? We went and we've been covering this trial since the beginning, and now we're getting into day 5, and there's going to be some text messages revealed that pretty much show Alicia's gonna have a hard time defending herself in this case. So we're getting to the text messages here. Later on, we're actually going to cover some of the videos and pictures that were shown, and exactly at the point when Alicia decided to tip off some of the other guys that were involved in the shooting of Julio Fulio. Y'all check it out. Let me know what you think for yourself as a juror on this case in the court of public opinion. Here we go. Why, Alicia? Why?
You swear to affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. Would you state your full name for the jury?
It's Detective Benjamin Bors.
Where are you? Oh, I apologize.
Last name is spelled B-O-R-S.
Where are you currently employed?
The City of
Benjamin's
Tampa
about to
Police
cook
Department.
Alicia.
And how long have you been employed with the Tampa Police Department?
Since 2010.
What is the current assignment that you serve in or at TPD?
I am currently assigned to the Cyber Crimes Unit.
And how long have you been in the Cyber Crimes Unit?
Since 2016.
In that time, tell me what some of your day-to-day duties are.
So when I originally started in the cyber crimes unit, it was more focused on internet crimes against children, which is a task force, and then that evolved into digital forensics to help assist those cases, and eventually the cyber crimes unit now includes digital forensics and internet crimes against children. So my responsibility is probably 50-50 on both now.
What training and experience do you have in the area of actually analyzing these types of evidence?
So I've taken multiple classes with NW3C, which is the National White Collar Crimes, and then individually for like specific tools. Main one being Celebrite, where I've completed the physical operator analysis, certified forensic repair technician, and then with Axiom, I've done multiple classes for computers and then cloud extractions, and then also received certifications with IASIS, which is more specific on Windows computers, and then the forensics of going through the deep artifacts of the devices.
Okay, so I'm going to break down a couple of those things. You mentioned something called Axiom and something called Celebrite. What are those?
Those are what I refer to as analytic tools, which you can, one part of their tool gets the extraction from the devices, and then they also sell another tool that actually parses out the extractions into something you can view.
How is it that you're able to use those programs to analyze, for example, a return instead of a physical device?
So again, it's a tool. So if we get a return from, like in this case, an Apple, you ask for the Apple Cloud backup through a search warrant or consent, and then they'll give you back typically what's a zip file or multiple zip files, where if someone's Apple iPhone, they've decided to back up different things such as like contacts, messages, pictures, all different categories. When they back that up, it goes to Apple, and then Apple gives that to us on whichever legal authority we choose. And then typically those companies give it back in the same format every time. So then these third-party companies, Axiom or Celebrite, know what that format is, and then they write the software to then parse it out to where we can then view it.
Is it safe to say it's kind of like taking the file and dropping it into the program as an ability for you to read it instead of a bunch of code?
Correct. It's more in zip files, and then maybe it could be in JSON files or Excel spreadsheets, and it basically just pulls it out into something to where you would view it the same. So where a text message, when you typically look at it on your phone, it's kind of in order, and there might be a color associated with sender and receiver. These tools kind of do the same thing. It puts it more into a format that you're used to seeing it in versus just in a bunch of lines.
In the format that you're able to see the information once it's actually uploaded, do you have categories that you can click on to look at specific types of information?
Correct. These programs, being Axiom or Celebrite, they decide what categories they're going to categorize the artifacts into. Excuse me. And yes, so you'll see messages, photographs, videos, things like that.
And are you familiar with the process of backing up your device to the cloud or to iCloud?
Yes.
Are you able to select certain items to back up, or are you required to back up the entire device?
You can choose to back up individual things, or none of it, or all of it.
So you could choose contacts and photos and nothing else?
Yes.
And are you able to tell us, did you have some involvement in the investigation, in this investigation, as it relates to the homicide of Charles Jones?
Yes.
Were you tasked with reviewing some either returns or Celebrite Axiom reports from some devices or returns in this case?
Yes.
I want to start first with whether you received a return from Apple iCloud in this case.
Yes.
Did you receive more than one?
Yes.
Would the first return that you received for analysis from Apple iCloud be alicia.andrews03@yahoo.com, or one of them?
Yes, that sounds familiar.
And did you also receive a return for rockoutsean with 2 N's at iCloud.com?
Yes.
Do you select which software you're going to use if you receive these types of returns?
I have a software that I typically use. Again, these softwares, they're being written constantly with the update. So it kind of goes on whatever at that moment is the best tool at the time for what I use, but I will often ask the detective what they would prefer to have it in, because they have to review it, and whatever they're most comfortable using as well might depend on which tool I decide to use.
When a report is actually extracted, so say you find a photo or a message that you'd like.
Yes.
When that's extracted.
Because we know a lot of this information, we're just going to skip ahead and actually get into what happened with Alicia Andrews. Here we go.
That's associated. Is that what we're seeing here with this last use MSIS?
It belonged to her.
The time isn't altered at all. It is in UTC time. So it being June, to be in Eastern Standard Time, you would have to minus 4 hours from the time you see.
Now, I'll show you some examples of that modification here in a bit, but there is ultimately a way for the device for you to update the time zone to the current time zone or the time zone that the device is in.
So the time zone that the device is in I would say the time zone where you're at would be more correct, because the problem with time the device is in, the device doesn't store in what we refer to in forensics as local time. So if the device is in Florida today, but California tomorrow, it doesn't store it in those two time zones. It stores it in UTC or whatever time it is, but it comes back to a UTC time. And then based on where your phone's time zone is set, which often is automatically set, but you can go in and manually set it as well, it will -4 or 5 if you're in Eastern time zone, and that's what you see on your device, but it's not stored in your local time zone.
But you are able, there is a mechanism to view the information that is pulled or view the report with the modification to from UTC to Eastern Standard Time.
Correct. This tool, Celebrite, is used worldwide. So depending on what time zone you are in, you can choose to set it at -4 for Eastern Standard Time or -8 for Pacific Time. So you can go in there and go, hey, I want to view it in the time zone for the state I'm currently in, and it'll alter those times accordingly.
There's been no request of you or no evidence to suggest or support that there were any devices provided to you where there need to be a calculation for Central Time or Pacific or anything like that in this case?
No.
It was her phone. We got
Now,
it.
and again, looking at the identifying information from this report, was there also something in line 16 as it related to a TikTok and the user ID information from there?
Yes.
What is the information that were provided from the TikTok column here under the user ID?
It shows the user ID also being, I believe, Alicia Andrews 72.
Uh-oh.
Now, when you look at specific items from inside of this report, are you actually able to pull, for example, a text message communication?
Yes.
Showing you states 76B. What is it that we're looking at here? What type of report?
This is also a Celebrite report, and it shows a conversation, or at least some messages that were sent and received.
What is it that you can tell me about the timestamps, if any, on these messages that are depicted on the screen from June 21st of 2024 at 10:56 p.m.?
Same thing I mentioned before. They're in UTC, so they're going to be 4 hours different than what would be Eastern Standard Time from where we're currently at. So being 10:56 p.m., it would, I believe, be 6:56 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
When you actually look to the message itself, are you able to determine who the sender is, or are there any markings or indications on the messages which would indicate who the sender is versus who is receiving the messages?
Yes, oftentimes will say to and from. In these scenarios, this isn't text messages. I believe these are actually just messages by...
I can go back to the first page related to Miss Adore.
Yeah, so I was looking at the numbers at the top, which are often the account numbers associated with either Instagram or Facebook. And it looks like, so as I was saying, that all of the files that come in from Apple, they're in a bunch of smaller zip files. So underneath where it says source extraction, that is the actual zip file that these messages are coming through or being pulled from by Celebrite. And you'll see towards the very bottom, it'll say group.com.bourbon, B-U-R-B-N, and then Instagram plist. So these messages are actually being pulled from that file, which is a plist file, which is associated with Instagram. So looking at that, I know that those are Instagram account numbers, and then those are the display names. So Miss Adore would be the display name of that Instagram account that sent that message to whoever the other person is.
And then in that device information that we were looking at from 76A, are you also able in the account name column to confirm what you were looking at there from that source information as well? The same name at least depicted there.
Yes.
And these again messages were in UTC time.
Mm-hmm.
At
What
least
they
that's
say?
extracted here.
Yes.
In states 76B2, is there also a category for something called transfers that you can extract the Celebrite report for?
Yes.
And what is it? Is that what we're looking at here?
Yes.
Still, the data that comes in allows for some categories. Are these categories that are provided by the program or something that you would input or add?
No, these are all, like I mentioned earlier, that Celebrite, the company, has parsed out whichever file contains this information, and they choose which category to display them in.
Now, in this particular case, there's a source column, but it doesn't look like that long source code that we were looking at from the last exhibit. Is that different?
It's just showing that it came from Cash App. It did come from a longer source file or file path. It's just not displayed here.
And what are you familiar with Cash App?
Yes.
Is that a money transfer application?
Yes.
It's amazing how much information they get off of here.
In states
That's true, Mr. Brown.
76B, are you able to see that?
Yes.
When we're looking at the file info from 76B, are you able to tell me anything as it relates to the name of the file?
Yes, the file name is img_001.heic.
So for like a document, you would have .pdf or .doc or something. Is it, for just a layperson when we're looking at it, you recognize HEIC as .hcic being consistent with a photograph or
Yes.
pictorial evidence? When we see the thumbnail associated here, are you able, when viewing the information, to actually look at that image in a larger capacity?
Yes.
Does that mean that this thumbnail here that it's given to you, does that mean that that was the original size of the item or anything like that?
Hey,
No,
Celebrite's
the original
doing their
size
thing.
says the bytes right there. It tells you how big the file is. That's just simply, like you said, it's a thumbnail image. It's a small image. Just like when you go through your photos on, if you have an iPhone or an Android, you don't look at one photo at a time. You can probably look at 30 to 40 photos. All of those photos are also saved in those smaller sizes so you can quickly view them, and those are called thumbnail images. But the actual image itself is much larger typically.
Can you see that all right?
Yes.
From that file itself, was this image consistent with a thumbnail attached to that extraction?
Yes.
And what is that?
You can't tell me about the circumstances from which this photograph was taken.
No.
Can you simply tell me that this is a photograph that was on the device
Yes.
and was depicted in the extraction report?
Yes.
Do you have information about at least the created modified access dates here as it relates to this particular thumbnail?
I'm not sure if that refers to the thumbnail or the actual photo itself. I believe it refers to the actual photo, which is the created of 6/26/24. I believe the thumbnail is actually just generated by Celebrite.
Yes, I apologize. I mean for the photo.
Yeah, so the artifact itself being the larger image we just saw, the created, modified, and accessed is associated with the photo, but then the metadata below is the data about the photo itself. So you can see that the capture time, probably the original time that photo was created, matches the created and modified.
And for this specific photograph, there is a capture time that it also reflects camera phone and iPhone 14. Were those consistent with the device information from the first exhibit that we looked at 76A?
I don't recall if it was an iPhone 14.
In looking at in looking at state 76A, does it refresh your recollection as to the device model for this extraction?
Yes, it would be the same model then.
What did they say? That's what we want to know.
Did the capture time of 8:35 p.m., is that indicative of UTC time in looking at the actual created, modified, access information?
So the time is about 2 minutes difference, but I'm not sure if the capture time below is in UTC, but using the created modified times, it would appear that it would be in UTC.
How about as it relates to the image that was actually captured itself? Is there any information from the image itself that we're able to ascertain regarding the potential time that it was captured?
Yes, the phone itself shows that it was 8:35.
In looking at some States Exhibit 76B8. Can you tell me how this type of an extraction, even though we still see the blue and the green boxes, would be different from the one that we looked at from Instagram? Does this one have phone numbers for the participants instead of ID numbers or?
Yes.
Okay. And are you able to see the phone numbers on this report itself?
Yes.
Are those phone numbers depicted here?
Yes.
And with owner, is that indicative of the device from which this information came from?
It is.
You mentioned when we were looking at the Instagram messages that there's a to or a from. Do we have that information in each of the top of the chat bubbles that we see here photographed or depicted?
Yes.
Shout out to Ducky.
Can you tell me from whom the top message came from and what, if anything, it said?
Here we go. Now we're getting into it.
It shows it came from the owner's device to the phone number ending in 7558. And did you want me to read the actual message?
The content of the message,
Yes,
if you would.
we do
Says,
want you
if
to
you
read
get
this.
a iPhone and you have a Android, you can switch your stuff over. I just figured it out if you ever upgrade.
Did that same message that's captured there in green also, or that same sender also send the next message that's captured in green?
Yes.
And does that one indicate anything was actually sent as far as content as well?
As far as the message goes, it says like your pictures and stuff.
And was there any response or message back to this device captured in this chat?
Yeah, it shows that the message received was about a minute later. And it just says, switch and bring your hard-headed self home.
That message, those messages that we just looked at, 76B8, were those in UTC time consistent with the device being or sending these messages at 8:39 p.m. on June 26th?
Yeah, so this report or what you're viewing here has been converted to Eastern Standard Time. So the times would reflect Eastern Standard Time, and that's what the -4 means.
And lastly, for this device, from state 76B4, is this another one of those messages where you're able to tell us whether it was between devices with a number or on some kind of social media account?
This is from devices with phone numbers.
What is the timestamp that is related to the first message that's sent?
It is 8:42 p.m. and it's in Eastern Standard Time.
Hey, new number. Save this one. Alicia. Cooked.
And was there a response from someone to this device?
Yes.
And what was that?
How do I know this is you?
Can you tell us what we're looking at here on page 2 of that same
Jeez.
exhibit and how it differs from the other chats?
This is just a obviously a picture message that was sent as an attachment in the message.
And again,
Not
are
looking
you
good.
able to, when you see something that size, look at a larger depiction of that?
Yes.
Is that what was reflected there?
Yes.
And was the timestamp able to be deciphered from the information included on that message?
Yes.
And when was that message sent from this owner's device?
9:17 p.m. in Eastern Standard Time.
In addition to the Celebrite for Red 03, did you have an opportunity to review an Axiom extraction as well? That was a return from iCloud.
Yes.
I'm showing you 75B. Can you talk to us a little bit about what it is that we are seeing in the overview report in 75B?
Alicia be smiling too much for me. It gets on my nerves. Like, come on, lady. Have some awareness of what's going on. The jury's watching you over there.
Yes, this is the overview. Is all the individual
Her
files
attorneys
that
need to help
comes
her
back
out.
from Apple, and then they're parsed out by, in this case, Axiom.
So do the extractions that come from, or the returns that come from iCloud, when you pop them into Axiom, do they look a little bit different visually than the Celebrate reports that we just looked at?
Yes, the individual company decides how they want to display the information when they parse it.
What, if anything, are you able to tell me about each of these 3 files? Can you view them together when you actually use this software?
Yes.
And do you have the same option to look at tabs or categories within the information when you use it?
Yes.
Mr. Brown says she over there looking like she's taking a midterm exam.
I'm publishing state 75C.
Yeah, that's true. She's like, is it A
Now, how
or
is it that
C?
you, from an Axiom extraction or report, are able to determine where or what category the information came from?
They would have the same file path at the end. It would show you exactly where it pulled from. Maybe not necessarily in this PDF or printed version of it, but on the tool itself, it would let you.
Are you able, from the actual report that gets extracted, to decipher some information about its originating location?
Yes.
What is TextNow chat?
TextNow is a voice over IP application that allows you to send text messages and phone calls, receive phone calls, basically over the internet. So as long as you have cellular data or hooked up to Wi-Fi, you can download the application and basically request a phone number and then make phone calls and text messages using the application instead of the native phone number assigned to that phone.
Is that different from sending a text message or a call from your device?
It would still be from the device, but through an application.
So you would use the phone, but you'd be using an app?
Yes.
Now, if I called you in that app, would my phone number to you be the same as my phone number that AT&T gave me if I select a number?
It'd be whatever phone number that TextNow provided to you.
But it is not the same as an extraction, for example, from the instant messages from a device or the iMessages.
No.
Was there in State 75C1 an extraction report from the Axiom for this device?
Yes.
And is this device the alicia.andrews03@yahoo.com?
This is not a device, but a
return from iCloud, so
yes.
data from them.
Yes.
And would that have been from that Alicia Andrews 03@yahoo?
Yes.
All right. Now, what is it that we're looking at?
This is just text messages or messages that
Here we go.
the Axiom tool has pulled from that iCloud extraction.
Is it possible that this isn't the entirety of all of the messages that go back and forth?
Yes.
Are you able to select some messages by date or timestamps, anything like that?
Yeah, you can filter within the tool to only certain messages, and then sometimes only certain messages are backed up. So you don't always get the full conversation, or you can filter it down to just portions yourself.
Interesting.
And coming from this return from the email for Alicia Andrews 03, what does the information that's provided in these chat bubbles tell us?
It just tells me that this message was sent to someone at that date and time.
And are you able to tell me anything about where the device came from? I mean, where the information came from? Was this message sent from this device, this report, to another person?
Yes, I can't tell right now, but it looks like it might possibly be a contact that says me, or I'm not sure if that's
he gonna
referring
read
to
it?
the individual device. I've never seen me on a report before, so it might be a contact saved as me, but I'm not sure.
Your Honor, may I have one moment? Yes. Mr. Deputy Martinez?
Y'all want to read this text?
One moment. Yes.
It said, "Bish, you a sicko. Why you blocking me over a call I didn't even initiate, trying to act like you mad? And I make people comfortable. I didn't do ish to make nobody feel comfortable. It was out the effing blue. Why the F are you acting like it's my problem? You just want to have a reason to talk to them ugly bitches you talk to every day. You come across and touch, you F them. You F them up. You're not even mentally there and stable in the head for no relationship. even when I do ish to your you know what, or start a conversation, you still effing mad. The F?
Mr. Deputy Martinez?
All right.
Should I turn it off? Are you able to tell me about the dates that this message was sent?
Yes, it shows that it was 6/17/2024 at 11:44 and 11:47 a.m.
Now, as we move through this exhibit, all of these exhibits would have come from the data from the iCloud return that you received for the Alicia Andrews 03 at Yahoo account. Is that correct?
Yes.
In 75C4, is this image that's being depicted here from page 4 different in some way than you would see for a traditional image?
No texting.
Like if it was a photograph?
This image that we see here isn't actually an image. It's a video file, but the Axiom tool...
Let's see the video.
So in my investigations, we go through hundreds, thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of videos. So instead of having to watch each individual video as you go through the tool, Axiom will display what's a preview of the video by giving you 8 frames from the video to give you a general idea what might be in that video. So you don't have to necessarily watch every single video just to find out what's in it. It'll give you a preview, which is what Axiom has done here, and then you could go watch the video itself. So in this case, we're looking at a preview that was generated by Axiom of the actual video file.
Are you able to actually see the full video or even grab some of the frames from the video when you're pulling an extraction report?
Yes.
And is that what's indicated here from that same video?
Correct.
Just a screenshot, basically, if we're using layman's terms.
Yes, and I think even when you go back to the still frames where there was the 8 different frames from that video, you can see that it's very similar.
What's happening in the
Are
video?
you able to tell me anything about the date and time that this video was preserved from the data or file information here?
It just shows the last modified and then more importantly the EXIF created, and how we mentioned earlier that EXIF data is more data about the file itself versus a lot of times when you see created, access, and modified, that refers to that file being in a specific place at that date and time. So if you put a folder on your computer and you make a copy of that folder and put it somewhere else on your computer, those created date and times will be different because it's whenever you copied and pasted it. But the EXIF is specific to when that video file itself was created. So typically, forensically, that's the one we try to focus on if it's available, and in this instance it is, which is 6/22/24 at 5:26 p.m.
And are you able to say that that is also Eastern Standard Time based on the UTC information also provided?
Yes.
Publishing 75C5 from the same iPod return. Is this an actual either screenshot or an image on the device different from what we've just seen reflected as a video?
Yes.
Is there a time reflected in the screenshot itself?
Yes, 2:58.
And is there data associated with the screenshot itself?
Yes.
On this particular screenshot, this one has a PNG label. How is that different from what we saw before?
PNG is often associated with screenshots when it comes to Apple devices. So if you do a screenshot on an Apple device, it'll save it as a PNG versus the HEIC file.
The EXIF data for this one is depicted down here. Is that the same EXIF data for date and time that we would be looking at?
Yes.
And are you able to tell me what the EXIF data tells us about this particular screenshot?
Where were they going? They going to the location?
The original date and time to be 6/23 at 2:58 p.m. Or I'm sorry, yeah, p.m.
PM?
I'm sorry, no. So 2:58. I was looking at the time. So 2:58. There is no PM or AM associated with it.
In 75C6, Are you able to see that? Record 1 of 75C6.
Yes.
All right. And do you know, or can you tell me what this is?
It's a picture, but I don't know who it is or.
This looks like surveillance. This was the location that Julio was going to initially. They're going to get into it in a second, I'm sure. This looks like surveillance, like, hey, we're here, we're pulling up. Not great. Not great. Not great. Not great.
Are you
not
familiar
great.
with the photo application in an iPhone or Samsung device?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And do you have the options, which we could see at the bottom right here, of taking a photo or selecting a photo option?
I believe that's just the selfie cam. I'm not sure if that's taking a photo or selecting a photo.
To flip the camera on
Yeah.
the photo app?
Yes.
But is this, so if I clicked on or took my phone and clicked on the little camera that's on the home screen, I can open that to access the camera?
Yes.
And is that what we're looking at here, a camera access from one of these devices, or a device of some kind?
It appears to be consistent with taking a photo with a device, but I'm not sure what application it's being used from.
While you are utilizing your phone's camera, whether it's front-facing or rear-facing, are you still able to take a screenshot?
Yes.
What information, if any, did this particular item provide to us regarding the date of the original?
The original date showing 6/23 at 4:10.
I'm sorry, was that PM or AM, or do you know?
It doesn't show an AM or PM.
Are you able to tell us about the ability to have military time or standard time? Tell us the difference between those two things.
You can select military or standard on your phone, how it's displayed. And basically that being a military time is from 0000 all the way up to 2400 or 2359. So basically there is no AM or PM with military time.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes.
Let's skip ahead in this part. What do y'all think so far about all this? I mean, it's not looking great for Alicia.
In 75C7,
Dang.
are you able to tell us anything about this return from iCloud as it relates to information from Instagram?
Just that, is this from, we're still talking about the iCloud return?
Yes, the same return from alicia.andrews03@yahoo.com.
Yeah, so again, Axiom being the tool that we used in this one, it identified different, I don't think where it came, or see where it came from, different accounts associated with, it looks like Instagram.
Does Axiom allow for information regarding followers and following when it gives you a return from Instagram or information from Instagram?
I cannot tell if these are follows or following, but it's obviously information that's backed up to Apple.
When you make a full download as it relates to the Instagram profiles, followers or following, are you able to review the file path and the file information to assess whether there's following, followers, followed by? Those categories that Axiom gives you.
Yeah, so in this scenario, yes, you can see what Axiom has parsed out, and it shows that the account associated with that Apple account, that cloud account, there are artifacts associated with Instagram showing that that account is following that username at the top, and you can see where it says following, yes, but they're not being followed back by that same account.
So following, yes.
Yes,
The username account, Young and Ace.
yes,
Followed by, no.
correct.
There are 3 of these records. Is the difference between having record 1, record 2, and record 3, which indicate the same, each of the iCloud returns that we saw in the beginning here when we were looking at the backup evidence?
There's no way it said young.
I'm not
Look
sure.
at the first page. Let me go back.
I'm not sure what the difference is between the 3 records.
In case y'all don't know who Young and Ace is, he was the one that Fulio had a long-standing feud with. And Young and Ace is alleged to have initiated not only this hit on Fulio, but celebrated it afterwards by dropping a song and a music video reenacting Fulio's murder. And we played it here on the channel. Man.
Records are. That would be Axiom parse it out, whether that information is in 3 different locations or it's just repeating information that's the same information in 3 different locations.
If the path matches source information from this file, the second file, and this third file from page 3 of the evidence overview, does that lead you to believe that they are, in reviewing the contents of each of these zips, representative of that following for each of the returns from each one of those files?
So it would be more from the source, and I can see that the source looks, there's a lot of numbers in there to tell you exactly the same, but it looks like the source might be a little bit different, and that's why you have 3 records.
Okay, and then when you see the evidence number or information, is that referring to the file that is provided from iCloud?
Yes. But in there are multiple different folders, and you see that where it says source here, being the original one, and then there's that number, the 1295723, and then there's folder and subfolder and subfolder. So every line that you see is another folder within that folder. So every slash mark.
In 75C8, do we have the same type of following report or information that was pulled from Axiom? Page 4 of that exhibit for username Julio Fulio.
Correct.
And do we still have or also have those columns regarding following and is followed by?
Yes.
As it relates to this particular account, is what was the account following?
The device account was following
She knew what was going on.
Fulio, but Julio Fulio's account was not following back the user's device or user's account.
Yep.
Are you also able to, as we could see from the device report and the Cellbrite data, or the reports that we had, are you also able to select photographs that you can pull reports for?
Yes.
In looking at this photograph that's depicted in 75C9, was there information associated with that photo which would allow you to be able to tell when the photo was captured?
Yes.
And what information is that, and can you relay that for us?
So, again, forensically, we often focus on the EXIF data, which is data about the data itself, not necessarily when that photo was placed on that device or that cloud. But here you can see that when the photo was taken, it captured a lot of information, lat and long being exactly where GPS put that photograph being taken, what model phone took it, and it looks like even it tells you which camera it would have taken it with, being the dual wide camera, which is typically seen on the back of a device, versus the selfie camera or the front-facing camera that would face you.
And can this data, because it's been an iCloud backup, be something that came from a different device? When we saw Cellbrite, we saw a model number and an iPhone and those types of things. Can this be a different device just stored to the cloud?
It could simply be someone sent you the picture and it's stored on your device, but it just got backed up to the cloud even though another photo or another phone took the photo.
Can it be your device having taken the photo?
If you have multiple devices with the same account, cloud account, yes, it could all be backed up. But it could also be a photo taken with someone else's phone and then you've stored it or saved it on your device and it kept all that same EXIF information and also got backed up because now it's on your device that is being backed up.
If I have my same iCloud account from high school up till now, will every phone that I've used and backed up to that same iCloud account still be reflected? Those photos from older phones are still in my iCloud.
It's possible. That's a better question for Apple, how long that they store stuff for.
But you can have different devices that back up to the cloud.
Yes.
Is this a larger version of that photograph that was depicted in the last exhibit?
Yes.
Same exhibit, was there an image captured April 15th of 2023?
Yes.
Not great.
And is that what's depicted here?
Yes.
In 75C10, can you tell us what it is that this is representative of?
These look like text messages between two devices.
So these look different than what we looked at from Cellbrite. We don't have the convenience of the blue and the green. How do you know that the messages are going back and forth? Is there something about their placement?
Yeah, so Axiom will place them typically right and left to try to make it look more like what you would see on the device. Sometimes there's colors that make it a little bit easier to see, which I don't see here.
Yeah, this is really confusing.
But you can also see received at the top where those ones are being received by that cloud account information.
Cell phone
and it
data,
says
so
unknown
bad.
direction. So probably didn't parse or it wasn't provided in the plist files or databases that were given.
But there is a number associated with the received by,
Yes.
and then the unknown direction, can that be from this person responding back to that received by?
Well, received from, I believe, is the top number. Like that was, they received that message from that number.
Yes, so if this text message is received from number ending
Right.
7534, is this the owner or user responding to 7534?
Correct. Often there isn't a number associated with the received by because the owner of the phone is simply the owner. Doesn't need to store its own number.
Are you able to tell me about the date and time from which I Don't Like the Town Center was received to this iCloud?
It shows April 10th of 2023 at 8:38 p.m.
Was there a response to that message?
Well, I hit
Yes.
it there. Why?
What was that?
I don't like Town Center.
You hate everywhere with an emoji. We don't gotta sit in.
Did the number ending in 7534 send a reply to that?
Yes.
And what was that?
23 got killed in the town center. That's why I'm like out there.
We still see the phone number that's provided for the person that's sending the messages to this iCloud,
Yes.
and we
Yeah, it's
see
the same
no
person. We
responses
got it.
on the right from the person with this device.
Yes.
Says, I don't like thinking, but it's for real. So when I do, I switch moods like a, you know what? Well, we don't have to go there if it's going to bother you about it. But it's some other places we both ain't trying yet.
Lastly, was there an image from the iCloud account preserved April 22nd of 2024?
Proving that it's her phone.
Yes.
And were you able to see that image in an enlarged fashion from the same extraction report?
Yes.
I believe that completes this particular extraction, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. All right.
Wow, what do y'all think, man? Alicia, all this information on her phone, linking her to so many different people. Not looking great. Let me know what y'all think in the comments in the chat. And we're gonna keep it moving. Shout out to everybody who's in the building. We got 15,000 of y'all up in this thing. Let's keep going. Let's keep it going, because this next part we're gonna get into, we're going to see some videos and it gets wild. It gets very wild. Let me see if I can find this. I should have put a timestamp here. Hold on a second.
7A.
This is co-defendant Rashad Murphy.
Perfect. Let me see. We'll start with Rashad. We're at 622. Let's go here. All right, y'all are good. Everybody good. I want to shout out a couple people before we keep going. Shout out to, I think it was Ducky Dexter in here, has been a member for 4 months. Dang, Ducky. says, OMG, I have a membership milestone. Hey guys, I love it here. Thank you for being here, Ducky. Thank you for the support. Y'all are cooking Alicia in the chat too. Burner phone, crime 101 in the classroom. Yeah, I agree. Thank you for being a member over here for 4 months, Ducky Dexter. Appreciate the support as well. Right, looking like a college student in the classroom. She's just over there chilling. We got Amy in here saying Androids are better than iPhones. I don't know how this conversation keeps coming up. Let me know in the chat. Are y'all team Android or team iPhone? I got to know now since we're talking about it. All right, let's get back into this. So now we're going to have a detective paint the picture for us of how Alicia Andrews was involved the night Julio Fulio was killed. We're going to see some video. We're going to hear the storyline. Everything's going to start to connect. We're going to see all the pieces put together. This testimony gets crazy. Here we go.
Similar in nature to some of the one seen on the rifles located on the video camera from the scene.
And going back to that home to suites video footage that you watched, did you also watch the video footage from the Tesla?
Correct.
Based on you viewing that video footage, was there anything unique about the firearms in this case that caught your attention?
Yeah, the most distinct thing that really caught our attention early on was the fact that both of the rifles used at the scene were equipped with brass catchers, and therefore they left no shell casings at our
scene. The brass catchers are good.
And as an experience as working homicide cases, is that typically something that you would expect to see at a homicide scene involving assault rifles, assault platform rifles?
Overall, go ahead.
It's not as common.
And you mean that a crime has a brass catcher?
Correct.
But my question to you was, as a homicide investigator, when an assault rifle is used, would you normally expect to see at a crime scene the shell casings from the rifle, from the assault rifle?
Correct. We would expect that the AR platform would eject casings, and we find those casings on the ground too.
When you watched the Home to Suites video, did you see and were you able to discern based on the camera placements and angles where the location of where the potential shooters were?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm.
And were those areas where the shooters with the AR rifles, and how many shooters in this particular case had assault rifles?
2 out of the 3 shooters.
Was that area searched for any sort of shell casings?
Yes, ma'am.
And were shell casings belonging to an assault rifle, were any shell casings for an assault rifle located in that area?
No, ma'am.
And when you viewed the Home to Suites video, were you able to see what you have described as, or what you called a brass catcher on the assault rifles?
Yes, ma'am.
So when the Toyota 4Runner is stopped, driven by Sean Gathright 3 days later, were there gun parts suitable for use with an AR rifle, the types that were used, the 2 that were used in this particular case?
There were.
Was there ammunition that is suitable for being fired in assault rifles that were located in that gold Toyota 4Runner driven by Sean Gathright?
Yes, there were.
And since there were no shell casings left by the assault rifles at the crime scene, is there ever going to be any sort of shell casings that we can compare that would be of use in our case?
No.
But still of relevance or of note to you would be any sort of ammunition that can be fired in those type of weapons that are depicted in that video. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is that why you seized that ammunition suitable for an assault rifle from that vehicle?
Correct.
Now, there were some shell casings that were located. Is that correct?
Yes.
And what sort of shell casings were there?
Those were rifle shell casings.
At our crime scene.
Oh, I'm sorry. At our crime scene.
In Tampa.
We were still talking about the car. Yes, at our crime scene, we recovered 31 spent 9mm pistol casings.
And all of those only can be fired, that cannot be fired in an AR rifle. Is that correct?
Correct.
And in the video, is there another shooter that is identified as having a firearm as opposed to an assault rifle?
Yes, one of the shooters was equipped with a pistol.
Okay.
Dang.
Did you notice
With the
anything
switch,
unique
too.
about the pistol when you are viewing the video from Home to Suites and the Tesla?
Yes, from the video, you can see the high rate of fire coming from the muzzle flash on the pistol and the impacts on the windshield, indicating that a pistol was being fired at a fully automatic rate.
Dang.
And can you tell the jury what is the significance of that and what does that mean for a semi-automatic pistol?
Yes,
It had a switch on it.
Pistols typically aren't configured in fully automatic mode, as there's a lot of legality behind it. So this specifically was a Glock pistol that was believed to have been equipped with what they call a Glock switch. It would be put on the back plate to convert the Glock pistol to make it a fully automatic pistol.
I'm going to show you States Exhibit 22B 1 through 5. Do you recognize this DVD? And did I ask you to previously look at that and then initial it so you could locate it or recognize it at another time?
Yes, ma'am.
And does this video fairly and accurately represent the video footage from the Home to Suites that occurred on June 23rd of 2024?
Yes, ma'am, it does.
And we previously introduced
Not looking
into
good
evidence
at all.
already States Exhibit 22A and 22B6. I'm going to show you on video.
Are you admitting the remainder of 22B,
Yes,
1
Judge.
through 5?
Judge, we would admit at this time States Exhibit 22B 1 through 5.
Any objection?
No objection.
Okay, admitted.
Which one is being shown?
I'm going to show B 1 through 5, but I am going to show 22A as well. Detective Ramos, when
She's
I'm talking
gotta know
about
the camera's
22B
watching.
1 through 5, you were aware that there is a timestamp on the Home to Suites video, is that correct?
Correct.
And Detective Alverson also collected and viewed the videos, is that correct?
Correct.
And was there a time discrepancy from the Home to Suites video?
Yes, there was.
And what was the time discrepancy?
I have referred to the report. I can't
If
recall.
that would help
one.
refresh your
Please.
recollection, absolutely.
1 minute and 45 seconds slow.
I'm going to show you B1 first. Can you tell us what is being shown in B1?
Yes, this is a camera from the Homes to Suites on the east side of the building, pointing southeast towards McKinley.
Here we go. Give me 1 second, y'all.
What we see here is now the suspect, black Chevy Impala, has arrived into the parking lot, made an immediate right, and drove north past this camera.
And then where is this camera angle?
This camera's on the same side of the building, except it's pointing northeast towards McKinley and Fowler. As the suspect, black Impala, travels north, it now crosses in front of this camera.
Now we're on B3. Where's this angle at?
This camera's on the north side of the building, pointing east. And we see the black Impala continuing north through the parking lot.
I'll show you B4. What does this camera show?
This camera is located on the west side of Homes to Suites, and it's pointing to the west, and we can see the Impala arrive on the opposite side of the building and make a U-turn there.
Can you tell us where on the screen the portico is
They're all
or the
young.
awning where the victims are stationed?
Yeah, to the left. Had the Impala continued on, it would have crossed the line where the portico was at.
And this is the setup here. We're going to skip ahead shortly.
So what's happening now at 4:35?
The suspect Silver Cruise has arrived in the view of this camera and driven north from the west side of the building.
And I say 4:35, the timestamp, but what is the actual time with the conversion?
So right now it would be 4:37:45, since this is slow.
And where the silver Chevy Cruze came from, would it have gone by where the victims were stationed at the entry to Home to Suites?
Correct. The Silver Cruise passed the victim's location twice, once on the way in and once on the way out.
What can you see now?
Yes, in the center there, between the top of the van and the extension there, we saw 3 figures come from the Impala area of the Impala and go towards the front of the hotel. And this is the aftermath as they're running out.
And note what is the time on the timestamp?
Yeah, 4:37:30, so it would have been around 4:38, almost 4:39.
What are we seeing now?
They're getting set up, ready
This
to
is
go.
the aftermath of after the shooting, after Xavier Everett just drove north through the parking lot. We see the Impala pulling out of the spot and leaving at this moment.
Dang. Sad, Moon. So sad.
Sir, the blinking lights that were occurring at the end of the video, what was that?
That was a car alarm that went off in the general area where the Tesla was parked that captured the footage.
I'm going to show you states 22B5. What camera angle are we looking at now?
This camera's on the southwest corner of the Homestead Suites, and it's pointing in the southwest direction. So this would have been the continuation of when I said left off the screen in that last slide, is where we're at here. We saw the Cruise come in, and now we're seeing the Cruise come out. Now we see the shooters arriving into view of this camera.
Yeah, look
And
at
what
them.
is the
There they
time?
go.
On the timestamp 37:14, correct time would have been 4:38, almost 4:39.
Dang. Wow.
Detective, I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification, states Exhibit 45. Do you recognize this diagram?
Yeah, this
Yes, I
happened
do.
in
Did you
Florida.
create this diagram after you noted and watched all of the videos, including the Tesla video as well as the Home to Suites video?
I did.
Was there also a video that was located outside USF on a pole, what's considered a pole camera?
Yes, there was.
Your Honor, at this time, we'd introduce into evidence states Exhibit 45.
Any objection?
No, the diagram.
Okay. I tell you what, it's 3:15 or a little after. Let's go ahead and take a 5-minute or so.
All right, and we're going to skip ahead through this. What do y'all think so far? And where was Alicia during this time?
A poll cam on USF, the University of South Florida property. Did you obtain video footage in relation to this investigation from that poll cam?
I did.
Where is that poll cam located?
It's located at the intersection of McKinley and Fowler on the south end of the college campus, pointing south towards southbound McKinley and in that area.
Does it show the entrance to the home to suites, the entrance on McKinley Drive that vehicles would have to take to enter into that parking lot?
Yes, it does.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 24.
She knew what was going down. There's no doubt.
Thank you.
Sure.
Wow.
Detective Ramos, can you see a timestamp on this particular video?
No.
Is there a time that was associated that you were able to determine based on coordinating it with the video footage from the home to suites?
Yes.
And when in time is this video capturing?
This video is going to start approximately 04/22/23 time frame on 6/23/2024. And the first thing we'll see is the victim's convoy arriving.
And can you tell us what this intersection is?
Nothing
The
good
camera's
happens
pointing
that
south. The street going from east to west is Fowler, and then south of the light is North McKinley. The Homes to Suites is on the right-hand side at the top center of the screen.
And can you kind of, if you could stand up, just kind of point the general direction of where the entrance would be if you are entering Home to Suites on McKinley?
Sure. So at this top center of the screen, to the right of those headlights, south of the crosswalk to the right-hand side.
And you said the victim and his entourage are going to be shown momentarily, is that correct?
Correct.
And what direction are they coming from?
They're coming northbound on McKinley from the Bush area.
And in order to make that entrance into Home to Suites on McKinley, do they have to do a U-turn?
Correct. They have to make a U-turn at the light and then go back south on McKinley and make a right.
This whole thing could have been prevented, man. It's a shame. Defense is not doing great right now.
right there. So at this point, we're seeing the victim's 3-car convoy arrive at the top of the center of the screen there, and they're in the left lane, getting ready to make a U-turn to go back south on McKinley. There's the victim's Charger leading the 3 cars, and then the other 2 cars, which are the Imani Turner's Hyundai Santa Fe and Taylor McRae's Nissan Altima. And then now they're making a right into the Homes to Suites parking lot. This vehicle off to the right, off to the left, I'm sorry, at the top center there is the Silver Cruise that was following them. It makes a right on to eastbound Fowler and then ultimately comes back and goes north onto the USF property to stage across the street.
I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit.
Driver's front windshield of where the victim, Charles Jones, was located.
Yes.
Overruled, go ahead.
Yes.
They would be facing one another?
Yes, correct.
Do any of the shooters, the 3 shooters that are in that parked Chevy Impala, do any of them get out of the vehicle until that silver Chevy Cruze goes by the victim's vehicle twice?
No.
And that is seen on all of that video footage?
Correct.
When do they get out of the black Chevy Impala and start walking towards where the victim and the 2 other vehicles are located?
Approximately 4:38, so it would have been 30 to 45 seconds after the Cruise left.
And is the first shots that are fired, is that caught on that main camera that shows where the victims and the 2 other vehicles in the victim's party are parked?
Correct.
And where are the first shots fired, in what direction at whom?
The very first shots are fired from west to east towards the front windshield of Mr. Charles Jones' Dodge Charger,
Where he happens to be seated in what seat?
the front passenger seat.
Published states 22B6.
Here's where they pull up. Dang, this is crazy.
Detective, do you recognize all 3 of the vehicles that are now being shown in states 22B6?
I do.
And can you point out who is in that black Nissan Altima that is at the top of the screen?
The black Nissan Altima has a Taylor McRae, Aaliyah Albritton, and Camilla Bentley in it.
You yourself interviewed
about them
Mr.
yesterday.
Tatham McRae, is that correct?
I did.
Did you also eventually get an interview with Aaliyah Albritton, the lady who is depicted in the pink?
Correct.
And then the black, they just passed a black Dodge Charger, is that correct?
Correct.
And can you see who is seated in the passenger side of that vehicle?
Yes, signified by the white socks with the red tips. That is the victim, Mr. Charles Jones.
Had you, as part of your investigation, obtained other video footage that occurred earlier in the night?
Yes.
And were you aware of how and what he was wearing?
Yes, white and red.
And other members of the party that was with him?
Correct.
Who ultimately was in the black Dodge Charger with the victim, Charles Jones, when this occurred?
Xavier Edwards is the driver and Gino Norris Jr. in the backseat.
And what car just passed by?
The suspect's silver Cruise.
And then there is a vehicle that is parked directly behind the Dodge Charger where Charles Jones is a passenger. Who is located in that vehicle?
Armani Turner, Miss Randolph, her friend, and Robert Howard.
And again, you interviewed all of those three individuals later that morning?
Correct.
What's going on at this point in the video?
The Cruise has now turned around and is headed back out the way it came in.
And in any video footage, including this one, the Tesla and the surrounding cameras, had any, prior to that happening, anybody gotten out of that black Chevy Impala?
No.
Where's Spring Flowers at? Thank you, Spring Flowers.
This first shooter, what sort of firearm did he have?
He had a pistol that was firing at a fully automatic rate.
And what area was he specifically targeting?
The windshield of the black Dodge Charger.
All of the other vehicles with the victim, did they immediately leave?
Yes.
Did you put together a composite video that compiled all of the camera angles of the surrounding hotel and the Tesla and put them chronologically in time together?
Yes.
I'm going to publish 22A. And sir, this is all put together in chronological time. Is that correct? Stitching together the various videos.
Correct. Easier to follow.
And what is being shown right there, what that car just passed?
That's the Impala arriving into the Homestead Suites parking lot.
And are you showing the path of travel of that black Chevy Impala?
Correct. Driving northbound through the parking lot.
And again, it has not passed in front of those victims' vehicles. Is that correct?
Correct.
And what is happening here?
It arrived on the west side of the Homestead Suites and it's turning around.
And is it now parking in that space that you had designated in States Exhibit 45 by that red rectangle?
It stages until the Cruise arrives, and then once the Cruise arrives, it starts to park, yes.
And that is the Cruise passing again right in front of the victim's vehicle?
Correct.
And where is the black Chevy Impala at this point?
The Impala is passing in front of the Tesla.
The quality of the cameras is crazy, too.
What's the Cruise doing at this point?
It turned around and is now headed back out the way it came in.
And then where is the black Chevy Impala?
The black Impala, while the Silver Cruise is turning around, is pulling into the parking space. There's the tail lights, and it's backing in. You can see it from in between the top of the van and the white pillar there in the center of the screen.
And now is it parked?
Right No, it's fully in the spot.
And that is the spot that you designated on your diagram, is that correct?
With a red block, yes.
And what is happening with the silver Chevy Cruze?
The Cruze is driving out the way it came in, passing the victim's location.
What are you capturing now in this video footage?
The three shooters came out of the Impala and are walking towards the victim's position. This is them passing the Tesla, various angles.
Did you see the person with the handgun?
Yes, bottom right of the screen.
During the course of this shooting, did anyone from the victim's vehicles, those two other vehicles, ever get out of the vehicle and approach the victim in his vehicle?
I'm sorry, one more time.
Did any of the victims in those two vehicles that fled, the Nissan Altima and the Hyundai, did any of them get out of those vehicles before fleeing?
No.
Did the two persons that got out of the black Nissan Altima, Miss Aaliyah Albritton and Tafa McCrae, did any of them ever come out of the hotel while the shooting was occurring?
No.
Dang, man. What do y'all think? We're going to keep it moving with the rest of this testimony, laying it down, playing out how every single thing lines up. Interesting here. Let's get back into it, see what Alicia was getting into. We got more video coming up from the
now
party.
What is being shown
Check
here?
this out.
This is the victim's vehicle driving north. The shooters are running by the Tesla with the third shooter in the back there still shooting.
And what vehicle, based on all this video footage, are the shooters pursuing?
The black Dodge Charger containing the victim.
And this is a composite of various cameras, is that correct?
Correct.
Did you watch the entirety of all of the cameras of the surrounding home to suites, of the Tesla and the USF pole cam? Did you watch the entirety of all of that video footage?
I did.
And during that time period, did you ever see Aaliyah Albritton or Tafa McCrae ever exit out of the hotel during the course of when all that shooting was occurring and when the victim's vehicle was being pursued by those shooters?
No.
At some point, did you have other detectives in the homicide department locate video footage from where the victims were earlier in the night?
Yes.
You said that you had conducted interviews of Miss Armani Turner, is that correct?
Correct.
Robert Howard,
Correct.
as well as Miss Randolph. During your investigation, were you trying to establish a timeline of where the victim had been prior to coming to Home to Suites and trying to investigate the perpetrators of this crime?
Yes.
Were there two other locations that you were aware of that the victim had been?
Yes.
And what were those two locations?
Those two locations were prior to Homes to Suites. It was a after-hours nightclub called Truth 18, and then before Truth 18, the first club that the victim went to was a strip club, Teasers Gentlemen's Club.
Shout out to Teasers.
And did you also look at the victim Charles Jones' Instagram feed to see if he had posted anything on that day, September 22nd, leading up to September 23rd, 2024, in the early morning hours?
I did.
You specifically looked at his Instagram feed?
Yes, his stories feed.
And when you were looking at his stories feed on Instagram, is there, at that time, do you actually record that?
Yeah, I screen recorded it and then documented everything I observed.
Why did you screen record it?
Because the stories feeds on Instagram, they basically delete after 24 hours, so I was afraid that if I didn't memorialize them, within 24 hours they would be lost.
I'm going to show you what's been already introduced into evidence, states 95A.
Let's see what happened at the party. Here we
So
go.
this is
Here's the pictures from the party.
So this is the screen recording he did of his story?
Correct.
Appreciate everybody popping out for my birthday, you know what I'm saying? Everybody take this shit on three, man. 1, 2, 3. Brother, you know, popped out for my birthday.
And that's his brother.
Did you confirm that he had been at an Airbnb earlier on September 22nd of 2024?
Yes, in Longville.
And what's that being shown now?
A flyer about the after party at Truth 18.
I'm going to show you it's already in evidence 95C1. You know what this is?
Yes, that was the first flyer on
It's the birthday
the victim
flyer.
posted on his Instagram for advertising the performance at Teasers in Tampa.
Does it give a date and time when he's going to be there?
Yes, on the top left, June 22nd, and top right time, 8 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Then I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 95-2C. What is this?
This is a second flyer that the victim posted off of his Instagram advertising the same event. Also has Teasers listed there.
Okay. And is the date again listed on that when he's going to be there?
Correct, June 22nd.
Does it also list that it's going to be his birthday on that day?
Yes.
And you said that part of this investigation, you had other detectives assist you with gathering video footage from both Teasers and was that another club, Truth 18?
Correct.
Approximately what time did the victim and his entourage go to Teasers?
Teasers approximately 2:26 a.m. on the 23rd.
And approximately what time did the victim go to Truth 18 with all of his friends and the other people in his party?
Arriving into the parking lot approximately 3, going up the steps around 3:15.
It's late.
You want to maybe approach?
Yes?
We got another sidebar. We're going to skip through. Get to some more videos from the
One
party.
on the west side of the building and one on the north side of the building that basically captured 3/4 of the building.
And what is this camera angle that we're looking at first?
This is at the south east corner of the building pointing west, and it covers the front door. To the right there, that gray door, that's the front entry into the club.
And what is the timestamp? And can you give us what the correct actual time would be?
Yeah, the timestamp's 2:16:50 right now, and it's 7 minutes and 23 seconds slow, so the correct time frame would be closer to 2:24, 2:25.
What are we looking at now?
This is the first time the Silver Cruise is seen on camera arriving in the area. I'm sorry, the second time the Silver Cruise is arriving into the area. The correct time would be 2:24, 2:25 as well.
They just following this dude around. And this is going to lead into
At some point, did
the
you
other
speed
trials,
up
too.
the footage to make it go faster?
Yes.
Other than increasing the speed, is there any other alterations that have been made to this video?
No.
do it. So
Detective Ramos, what's happening at this point in the video?
Top right there from the Silver Cruise, we see defendant Isaiah Chance exit the driver's side and co-defendant Alicia Andrews exit the front passenger seat, and they are now walking through the parking lot together.
And what is at the direction and in which they are walking?
They are walking now southbound through the west side of the parking lot towards Castle Street, towards where the front would be.
The front entrance to Teasers?
Correct.
What's going on at this point?
The co-defendant Isaiah Chance is manipulating a cellular device.
Later on in your investigation, did you determine whose cellular device he was manipulating?
Yes, that of co-defendant Alicia Andrews.
And is that a device that he was just shown holding up to his ear or his face?
Yeah, he appears to be holding it up to his mouth area.
Again, are these snippets of video, are they chronologically in time?
Yes.
And in looking at this again at the front door to Teasers, where in relation to this video would be that back parking lot area?
To the top center. So if you're looking past the gentleman in the blue hat, all these gentlemen where the speed limit sign is at,
knew what was
so
going
it's
down?
25. That's the back parking lot area where the defendants are at.
And do you see that there is security or bouncers that are manning the door?
Yes.
Okay. And at this point, can you see the victim in this particular video?
Yes.
What's he wearing?
A red beanie hat, a white t-shirt, and red shorts being patted down right now.
And being patted down by whom?
The bouncer working in the door.
And again, this is snippets of video. Did you watch the entirety of video footage during this time period for all of these cameras?
I did, yes, ma'am.
What are we seeing now, and what time is it?
This is after the victim enters. This is the defendants, Alicia Andrews and Isaiah Chance, walking back to the cruise.
Going back to that camera showing the front door, did you ever see Alicia Andrews or Isaiah Chance ever come up to that front door in all of the video footage of the front door?
No, they did not.
Did you ever see the defendant Alicia Andrews and the defendant Isaiah Chance ever go up to any of those bouncers or doormen at that front door?
No, they did not.
Did they ever enter Teasers nightclub that night, June 23rd of 2024, during this time period?
No, they did not.
What's going on at this point?
The Silver Cruise is leaving the parking lot.
And what are we seeing in this clip at the front door again?
This is fast forwarded now
Charles, as
approximately
they call
20, 30
him.
minutes when the victim's exiting.
At this point, had we ever seen the black Chevy Impala that we had seen connected with the 3 shooters at Home to Suites?
Not up to this point.
And again, this is earlier in the night than when the Home to Suites video was shown. Is that correct?
Correct.
What are we seeing now?
Now we're seeing in the top right corner, we're seeing the black Impala for the first time in the teaser's cameras. It's arriving in the parking lot around the same time that the victim is exiting out of the front door.
And at this point, had the silver Chevy Cruze already came and parked, went up to the area around the door, and then gone back into the vehicle and left?
Correct.
What's being seen in this angle?
This is another angle of that black Impala there in the top right, circling the parking lot and making its way back out onto Castle, to the front of the club.
What can you see now?
The black Impala is now traveling on Castle, and at this point it's stopped directly in front of the Charger.
So the victim's vehicle, the Charger, is now closely connected to where that black Chevy Impala is. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did anybody from the black Chevy Impala ever get out at that point?
No.
And you watched all of the video footage from all of those angles, various angles around teasers, the parking lot, the front entrance?
I did.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit number 40. This is a diagram again of the the victim's vehicles, as well as the arrival of the black Chevy Impala and the silver Chevy Cruze.
Correct.
Can you explain the diagram and what the arrows and the rectangles mean in this diagram?
Sure. Similar to the last one we saw, the three green boxes at the bottom of the building there represent the victim's vehicle and his two entourage vehicles. And then the blue arrows represent the silver Chevy Cruze, the suspect silver Chevy Cruze. It comes in off of Castle, drives northbound along the west side there, and then backs into a spot where it's designated by a blue box. As we saw in the video, two people, co-defendants, Isaiah Chance and the defendant, Alicia Andrews, get out of the vehicle. Those are the blue dots representing their walk path. At some point, they align with the south of the building there and then walk back towards the vehicle. And then they drive out onto Castle, onto Nebraska. As the victim is exiting, we see the red arrows represent the path of travel for the suspect black Impala. It arrives southbound on Nebraska, makes a right into the north side of the parking lot there, drives around the parking lot, comes out onto Castle, at one point positioning itself directly in front of the victim's Dodge Charger on Castle.
Approximately what time is the victim's party arriving, the victim in the Dodge Charger and the two other vehicles in his party? Approximately what time does it get to teasers?
The victim's Dodge Charger arrives in between 2:22 to 2:26 time frame. I believe one of the other vehicles arrived a little bit earlier, around 1:41.
Dang.
And then approximately what time does the silver Chevy Cruze with Alicia Andrews and Isaiah Chance arrive at teasers?
In the general area, approximately 2:15. We first see it on camera at 2:17, and then when it does the motion where it parks, it's 2:24.
And that's 2:15, 2:17 a.m. of June 23rd of 2024?
Correct.
And then approximately what time does the silver Chevy Cruze leave?
Approximately 2:31.
And approximately what time does the black Chevy Impala arrive at this location, this area?
Approximately 2:55.
What time does the victim's vehicle leave?
Around that same time, 2:55.
Now, you said that this had been the second time that the silver Chevy Cruze had been in the area.
Correct.
How do you know that?
I watched all of the footage.
And at some point, did you also review the cell site location information of Sean Gathright for his phone?
Correct.
Did you do cell phone mapping of SeanGathright's phone?
I did.
And based on the cell site mapping of Sean Gathright's phone, had he, whether or not in a black Impala or silver Chevy Cruze, had he been to this location, teasers off of Nebraska Avenue, earlier in the evening on June 22nd of 2024?
Yes.
When did his cell phone, show to be in the vicinity of this Teasers nightclub on June 22nd of 2024?
Approximately 10:30 p.m.
And how long was it in this area, this vicinity?
Approximately 30 minutes.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 94C7. This is a cell break extraction from Sean Gathright's phone. Do you see that?
Yes.
And can you tell us what time is being shown at the timestamp over here?
In number one, is 6/22/24 at 2:55 p.m. and number 2 is 6/22/24 at 10:03 p.m.
Oh, actually, I meant to go
Yeah.
to 2. I apologize.
No problem.
Is this what you were referring?
Yes, this is so the time frame between 10 and 10:30 that his device was in the vicinity of Teaser's club was 6/22/24. Yes.
And then did you also obtain or have other detectives obtain video footage from Truth 18?
Correct.
I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification states Exhibit 42. Do you recognize this?
Yes.
And is that a map that is containing Truth 18 and the location?
Correct.
I'm going to show you this diagram, states Exhibit 43. Is this a diagram that, again, where you diagram out the parties, including the arrival of the victim and the silver Chevy Cruze, as well as the black Chevy Impala?
Correct.
Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes.
We'll get to the hotel.
What is the physical address of Truth 18?
4819 East Bush Boulevard.
Is that located here in Tampa, Florida?
It is.
What county is it located in?
Hillsborough.
Yeah, she looks.
And
Alicia
can you
looks
tell
very
us
uncomfortable.
where
I
is
agree.
the entrance of, or where is Truth 18 located in this photo? If you want to point it out for us.
Yeah, it's this two-story building there at the bottom left of the screen, signified by the red dot, and Truth 18 is on the second floor of that building.
Okay. And do the cameras that are located in this strip plaza, does it show the parking lot to Truth 18 as well as the stairwell that leads up to where Truth 18, the entrance is on the second floor?
Correct.
Detective, can you see the time
Okay.
stamp?
It's really loud. I'm sure the court reporter can't hear because I can barely hear. I'll just pause it momentarily, keep the volume down.
Detective, can you tell us what's happening at this point?
Yes, the victim's entourage had arrived to the parking lot, and they parked, and at this point, some of the entourage is loitering in the parking lot on the bottom of the screen there. Leo Albritton, Camille Bentley, some gentlemen off to the right.
And can you tell where those vehicles are related to the victim's party?
Yes, there is one on the north side of the screen, Amari Turner's Hyundai, and then the black Nissan Altima, and then the victim's Charger's off screen to the right.
Slightly off screen, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And then what are we seeing here?
We are seeing the victim and his entourage walking up the stairs up to the front of Truth 18 that's off to the right there.
And approximately what time is it, converting the time to real time?
This was approximately 3:27 a.m.
And this is occurring after the victims had already been to Teaser's nightclub, is that correct?
Correct.
And what's going on now?
The victim is starting a live stream on his Instagram.
And is that the Instagram video that we saw earlier?
Yes.
What's being viewed now on the video?
This is a recording of that Instagram live stream that he posted on his stories.
What are we seeing in this video?
Silver Cruise, top left, arriving.
And what can we see here?
The Silver Cruise, the bottom wheelbase of it just made a right onto the street to the east of the Truth 18 Plaza.
Now, again, in this video, did you increase the speed?
Yes.
And other than increasing the speed, is there any alterations that are being made?
No.
And can you still barely see the silver Chevy Cruze in
Yeah.
the top of the video?
Yes, right in the top. It's trying to park and just now went off view.
Okay, what can we see now?
This is defendant Alicia Andrews and co-defendant Isaiah Chance walking from the top right through the parking lot.
And where is the victim's party at this point?
They are inside or at the top of the landing.
And again, did you watch all of the video footage and angles that were in the strip plaza as well as the door leading up to Truth 18?
Correct.
Did the defendant, Alicia Andrews or Isaiah Chance, ever go up those stairs and enter into Truth 18 that night?
No, they did not.
And this is the video footage that shows the door and entrance to Truth 18, is that correct?
Correct.
Did they ever come up those stairs?
No.
What's going on at this point?
At this point, the victim and his entourage are leaving Truth 18.
At this point in time, had you seen the black Chevy Impala yet?
No.
What are we seeing here?
The black Chevy Impala arriving. It's pulling into the Enterprise parking lot there in the top left.
And is this the first time that we have seen the black Chevy Impala at this location?
Correct.
Detective, can you still see where the black Chevy Impala is at this point?
Yeah, just backed out of a spot and it's now driving out onto a bush. Shooting across in northbound on that street.
And where is Truth 18 in relation to this camera angle?
Top right off the screen.
And what can we see now?
The black Impala has returned and is now at the stop sign facing southbound.
And is that in the upper right-hand corner of the screen?
Correct.
But what were they doing walking around?
What are we seeing in this video screen?
This is from the first floor, pointing northeast. At the very top center of the screen is actually that intersection where the Impala ultimately stops at the stop sign. But this is the victim's entourage going to their vehicles.
Okay. Can you get up and kind of point where that intersection is just so the jury knows where to look?
Sure. At some point in the top center, there's a stop bar there, and that's where the black Impala will be visible for a little bit while it's stationed there. There's the Impala, top center.
Again, right at that intersection, almost in the center of the screen at the top.
Correct.
Okay, what are we seeing here?
The victim and his entourage originally went east in the parking lot. They made a U-turn and came back west. So what we're seeing them is now coming back. This is State from McRae's Ultima. They're going to come out of the parking lot, go onto Bush, where they can only make a right to go east. And in the top left of the screen, you'll see a left turn lane. they'll get into that left turn lane so they can make a U-turn to go back west on Bush towards McKinley. There's the victim's Charger in the turn lane, followed by Armani Turner's Nissan Altima making the U-turn. And then
What
taking the
vehicles?
Nissan Altima.
Okay. Do you know at this point where, what is this, are we now going to where the USF poll cam is?
Yeah, yes, correct.
How far is the Truth 18 nightclub from Home to Suites on McKinley?
Approximately around a mile. It's so you have Fowler here, and then the very next major cross is Bush. So Truth 18 is near Bush in McKinley.
And what are we seeing here?
This is the victim and his entourage making a U-turn at McKinley and 40th, getting ready to go into the Home to Suites.
Uh-oh.
And this is the same video from the USF poll cam that we saw earlier, is that correct?
Yes.
I'm going to show you State Authority into Evidence 75C6 from the iCloud, Apple iCloud of the defendant, Alicia Andrews. Do you recognize this?
Yes, I do.
And this was a screenshot that was recovered from her iCloud. What is this? What is this a screenshot of?
So this is a screenshot of the camera pointing at the front of Truth 18, the two-story building.
We saw this
with
earlier,
the,
too.
lit up top portion there being the club.
In viewing the video footage from Truth 18 and the parking lot, did you see this gentleman in that coverage?
Yeah, I was able to align the video footage and saw where that gentleman was walking through the parking lot to get the time of when this photo was captured.
Okay, and what was the approximate time of that?
It was in the time frame that Alicia Andrews and Isaiah Chance were there for a little bit after 4 a.m.
And this would have been taken from her device, is that correct?
Correct.
And it is pointing in the direction, is this up here? What is this area?
So that's the top of the stairs where the victim came up. That's that area there.
And can you see that there are actually people up in that area at that time?
Yes.
And when you compared it to the video footage of the parking lot where you saw this gentleman, where was the victim's party at this time?
Most of them were inside.
And how close in time was it to when the victim and his party went up those stairs and entered into Truth 18?
Approximately 10 to 15 minutes.
So whoever was holding her
Yeah,
device
Alicia was there.
actually took a photo of the door, is that correct?
Correct.
Sustained. So rephrase your question.
Yes, Your Honor. The person holding Alicia Andrews' phone did what at that time to get the photo?
Took a photo, captured it. Yeah.
And what area in particular?
The front of Truth 18.
And that would have been after the victim had entered in through Truth 18?
Correct.
At some point during your investigation, did you make contact with Alicia Andrews?
Yes.
When did you make contact with her?
July. I can't recall exactly, either the 7th or the 9th.
And how long were you with her?
Approximately an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Is Alicia Andrews, is she present in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Can you please point to her and describe what she's wearing?
Yes, she's the young lady at this table here to my right wearing the brown sweater in the center there.
Your Honor, may the record reflect he's identified the defendant.
The record shall so reflect.
Did you also make contact with Isaiah Chance?
I did.
And what day did you make contact with
When did she go to the
Isaiah Chance
bathroom?
during the
That's a
course
good
of your
question.
investigation?
The first time, early hours of June 28th.
I'm going to show you it's been marked for identification, States Exhibit 35A and B. Do you recognize States 35A and 35B?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
And do both of those photographs fairly and accurately depict Isaiah Chance?
Yes, they do, ma'am.
Your Honor, at this time, we'd introduce into evidence States Exhibit 35A and 35B.
Any objection? Admitted.
Detective, who is depicted in 35A?
This is co-defendant Isaiah Chance.
I'm going to show you 35B.
He's going to be in trial
Who's
next.
depicted in 35B.
That's her
Again,
boyfriend.
co-defendant Isaiah Chance.
And where does 35B
And maybe baby
come
daddy.
from?
This is from a Ring camera located at the Airbnb that the defendant stayed at during their time in Tampa.
You said that they stayed at a Tampa Airbnb. Is that correct?
Correct.
What is the address of that Airbnb?
Can I reflect? It's Gibsebo Pond Lane. I don't know the exact numerical, though.
Yes, if it'll help refresh your recollection.
Please. 3703 Gazebo Pond Drive, Unit 1202.
Got located here in Tampa, Florida?
Yes.
What county?
Hillsborough.
How far is this Airbnb from Teaser's nightclub?
Approximately a couple miles.
How far is this Tampa Airbnb at 3703 Gazebo Lane, Tampa, Florida, from Truth 18?
Approximately 1 mile.
How did you determine that the defendants were staying at this Tampa Airbnb?
From evidence extracted from co-defendant Rashad Murphy's phone.
I'm going to ask you about Mr. Murphy's phone, but at some point you had said that he was stopped in Gwinnett County. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you were alerted by the Georgia authorities that both he as well as the Silver Chevy Cruise were taken into custody in Gwinnett County, Georgia. Is that correct?
Correct.
And can you refresh my
Right here in Georgia, around the
and
corner.
refresh the jury's recollection? When did that occur?
That happened the early morning hours of June 26, 3 days after the homicide.
And you had the assistance of the Gwinnett County Police Department, is that correct?
Correct.
At some point, was there a phone that was confiscated by a Detective Carter with the Gwinnett County Police Department?
Correct.
And at some point, was there an extraction and a search warrant that was done on that phone?
Yes, ma'am.
And was it a phone that was actually in the possession of Rashad Murphy?
Correct.
And what is your understanding as to the ownership of that particular phone that was taken into custody by Detective Carter?
It's a phone that him and his girlfriend Charmaine Steiger mutually share.
And you said that there was an extraction that was done, is that correct?
Correct.
And part of that extraction was that information that was collected by Detective Carter, was that relayed to you?
Yes, it was.
And in it, was there a message between that phone and a person named Anthony who owned an Airbnb in Tampa?
Correct.
We still got some more to get to, y'all. Hang in there.
Exhibit 110A through 110G.
Any objection?
No objection.
Admitted.
Detective, did you receive all of the copies of the photographs and emails that Detective Carter sent you involved in this investigation?
I did.
I'm going to first show you what's already into evidence, 65A through G. Do you recognize this?
I do.
And this particular photograph has the metadata from the extraction, is that correct?
Correct.
You also obtained copies, is that correct, that were a little bit more clear, is that correct?
Correct.
And is 110A a photograph, another photograph of what is depicted in 65A?
Correct.
And is that, what is that in 110A?
That is a photograph of the Florida driver's license of co-defendant Davion Murphy.
And that was a photograph that was on that shared phone of Rashad Murphy and Charmaine Steiger, is that correct?
Correct.
I'm going to show you 110B. Is that another screenshot of a story that was captured on that shared phone of Rashad Murphy and Charmaine Steiger?
Correct.
Okay. And what exactly is being shown?
A crime scene with a song tagged to it.
And Young and Ace, did that come to have meaning in the course of your investigation?
It did.
And how was that relevant to your investigation?
Young and Ace is one of the prominent rappers of the rival gangs that rival the victim's gang.
I'm going to show you 110C. Is this a photograph that was captured on that phone that was in Rashad Murphy's possession?
Correct.
And how is this relevant to your investigation?
It shows a photograph of two rifles on the floor there.
And were there two AR rifles that were used in this particular case?
Correct.
And I'm going to show you 110D. Is this another enlarged copy of the photo exhibits that Detective Carter sent you from the extraction of Rashad Murphy's phone?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
And how is this relevant to your particular investigation?
The person depicted in this photo is wearing similar clothing to that scene of one of the shooters at our scene.
Busted.
And did you request of Detective Drabeck to actually do and recover a video from Walmart where Rashad Murphy was buying certain items?
Correct.
And did you get a copy of that Walmart video?
Yes.
And when was Rashad Murphy in that Walmart video up in Jacksonville?
On the evening of Friday the 21st.
So he's wearing this clothing that Friday before the homicide, is that correct?
Correct.
And did you see the video footage of how he was dressed at that Walmart?
Yes.
And was that similar clothing as to how one of the gunmen was dressed in the Home to Suites video?
Yes.
And 110E, what is that a photo of?
A screenshot of a contact in the phone, Gutter Man, with the number 904-309-4707.
And then was another exhibit that you got from Detective Carter, State's Exhibit 110G. Is that, again, a reproduction of an exact copy of the email that you saw that she provided you from the extraction of Rashad Murphy's phone?
Correct.
Can you tell me when this is dated?
Yes, so this is approximately 3:55 a.m. on the 22nd, so the early morning hours of Saturday, June 22nd, 2024.
Okay, and our homicide occurred when again?
Approximately 4:39 a.m. on June 23rd, 2024.
Set it all up.
And does this have the name of this is sent through an Airbnb app, is that correct?
Correct.
And does this is this shown at the top who the owner is?
Correct.
Did you yourself determine who the owner of the Airbnb that is in Tampa, who that is?
Yes.
And who is that person?
Anthony Alava.
At some point during your investigation, did you interview Anthony Alava?
I did.
Where does Mr. Alava reside?
Out of state.
How did you conduct an interview of Mr. Alava?
Over the phone.
And was he cooperative in this investigation?
He was.
Did he provide you information about that Airbnb?
Yes.
And is that this, when he's referring to this Lagoon Oasis check-in, is that the Airbnb that you just testified to that is at 3703 Gazebo Lane here in Tampa, Florida?
Yes, ma'am.
And part of this email exchange, Mr. Alava is requiring what as a part of the requirement in order for Rashad Murphy to get that Airbnb here in Tampa?
A picture of his driver's license.
And was a picture of his driver's license also obtained as part of that exchange that came from the extraction of the phone that was in Rashad Murphy's possession?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that a driver's license, a Florida driver's license of Rashad Murphy?
Correct.
At some point, did you actually receive from Mr. Alava video footage from the Ring camera for the time frame of when those people, or when whoever it was that rented that Airbnb here in Tampa?
Yes.
What time period was covered for the rental of that Airbnb here in Tampa?
The afternoon to evening of the Saturday the 22nd to the afternoon of Sunday the 23rd.
And Alicia was there, hanging out, plotting and scheming.
Not only did you get video footage from Mr. Alava of the Ring camera, did you yourself go to that Airbnb and take video footage of the Airbnb and the surrounding backyard and the parking lot of the Airbnb?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Where is the Ring camera located at that Airbnb on 3703 Gazebo Lane in Tampa, Florida?
It's at the front door if you're looking at the door off to the left.
Is there any other Ring camera on that property?
No.
I'm going to show you what's been marked for identification, states exhibit number. Oh, first, let me show you. At this time, we've introduced into evidence States Exhibit 60 and States Exhibit 61A, B, 1 through 5.
No, Judge.
Okay, admitted.
And Judge, it's actually 61A through B, 1 through 5.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Detective, can you show us what is being shown in this video of 60?
Yeah, we just saw the front door with the camera off to the left, and now I'm walking around to the south side of the building to get to the only other door to that unit. These are some parking spaces on the south side of.
And is this behind where that Airbnb is?
Correct. It's the second unit in, so this is the back gate door to that unit.
And do you have to walk down this grassy dirt path to get there?
Correct.
There she
Is there a
is.
timestamp on this video?
Yes, bottom right, 1955.
Not
And
a
is that
care
an
in the
accurate
world.
timestamp?
It is.
And what's being shown here?
A defendant, Alicia Andrews, came up to the door, appeared to knock on it, and then turned around and walked away.
And what's the approximate time?
1956 now. This is defendant Alicia Andrews walking into the Airbnb.
Detective, does this have audio?
Yes.
I'm going to replay it with the audio. Hold on 1 second.
That's her boyfriend. How are y'all feeling about Alicia so far? Let me know.
I'm gonna pause it right there. So did you obtain all of the Ring video activations for this front door from Anthony Alava?
I did.
Okay. And is this on June 22nd of 2024, going into the early mornings of June 23rd of 2024, is there any other video footage of anyone captured on this front door Ring camera?
No.
Okay. Based on your investigation, did you determine more than just Alicia Andrews, who's
Rephrase.
based on your investigation, did you determine how many people were at that Airbnb during the course of June 22nd of 2024 and June 23rd of 2024?
Yes.
How many people were there?
She's definitely not taking it
Who were those
serious.
5 people?
I
The
agree.
defendants in this case, Alicia Andrews and her co-defendants, Isaiah Chance, Sean Gaithright, Davion Murphy, and Rashad Murphy.
You see that at the time when Miss Andrews is first shown, what was the approximate time on this video where she's seen knocking and then shortly thereafter entering into the Airbnb?
Knocking approximately 7:55 p.m. on the 22nd and entering 7:56 p.m. on the 22nd.
Did you also obtain a search warrant for the defendant's phone records, her cell site information, and timing advance for her cell phone?
I did.
And in one of these videos, can you actually see her holding a pink phone?
Yes.
And based on your looking at the timing advance records of Miss Andrews' phone, did you determine when she arrived in the area of this Airbnb, and does it correspond with her entering into this particular Airbnb?
Yeah, her phone
All right,
arrived
please.
into the vicinity of the Airbnb at approximately 7:52 p.m., 3 minutes before the activation on the Ring.
Wow.
Did you also obtain cell phone records for the co-defendant in this case and boyfriend to the defendant, Isaiah Chance?
Yes.
And what about Sean Gaithright?
Yes.
And were you able to get cell site information, location data for both Isaiah Chance and Sean Gaithright's phone?
Yes.
And what time did both of their phones approximately arrive at this location?
Both of their phones arrived around the same time, 7:52 p.m.
And is there no other activation of this front door other than the defendant, Alicia Andrews, entering into this Airbnb?
On the 22nd, no.
Okay. And do you see if can you tell me what is shown in this front
Dang.
door angle where she immediately knocks and then eventually comes back?
Yes, so this camera is pointing east from the building to the parking spaces in front of the unit.
Okay. Are there any parking spaces that are open and empty for somebody to park in?
3 that I can see.
Do you ever see a black Chevy Impala pull up to this townhome?
No.
Do you ever see a silver Chevy Cruze pull up to this townhome?
No.
Did you have a phone record for the co-defendant, Davion Murphy?
Yes.
And were you able to get cell site location and data information from Davion Murphy's phone?
Yes.
Does it show his phone arriving at this Airbnb on Gazebo Pond Lane in Tampa, Florida on June 22nd of 2024?
It does.
What time does he arrive?
Approximately 7:57, 5 minutes after the first 3 defendants arrive.
And do you ever see Davion Murphy enter into this front door?
No.
What about Rashad Murphy?
No.
On June 22nd of 2024?
No.
What about Sean Gaithright?
No.
And that video that we just saw where we show a back door that you have, how far
Alicia
do you
was
have to
part of
walk
the
around to
cleanup
get
crew.
to that back door and through that gate?
It's approximately a 50 feet walk from the front door.
And is there video footage that is collected from this Ring camera from June 23rd, 2024, after the homicide had occurred?
Yes.
Is this from the following day after the homicides occurred?
Yes, 2:09 p.m. on June 23rd.
And who's being depicted now on this Ring camera?
Isaiah Chance briefly stepped out.
And what time is it now on June 23rd of 2024?
2:58 p.m.
And what else is of note in this particular shot?
Isaiah Chance walks up to, at this point in the investigation, an unrecognized vehicle.
What do we see now?
Defendant Alicia Andrews walking out.
What's she carrying?
Bags?
Day before, did you see anyone load bags into this Airbnb?
No.
Not looking great.
Who do we see there?
Davion Murphy?
Ever see him enter the Airbnb on June 22nd of 2024?
No.
Is that another photo of him entering?
Correct.
I think she knew
Do
a
you know
lot.
where he got the stuff that he was carrying to that vehicle that's placed in the front of the camera?
No.
Is the direction of where he's coming from lead to eventually the back door of this Airbnb?
Correct.
Was there another individual that we just saw on this Airbnb camera?
Yes, Sean Gateway.
And again, on June 23rd of 2024?
Correct.
Do we have any video footage of showing how he got into this Airbnb?
No, we do not.
What are we seeing here?
Who that?
This is co-defendant Sean Gateway coming back to the door and apparently talking to someone, giving them the code to the door.
Sean's going to be on trial next.
Okay, and is that vehicle no longer there?
Yes, the vehicle SUV is gone now.
Do you see any black Chevy Impala in this video?
No.
And again, what direction is he walking in?
Towards the rear door.
Who's the only defendant that is not shown in this Airbnb video?
Defendant Rashad Murphy.
What's his nickname again?
Ghost 187.
Now, I want to ask you about that vehicle that is pulled up where you can see that they are loading bags into that vehicle. During the course of your investigation, did you determine what that vehicle was?
Yes, it was an Uber.
Okay. And did you do research to locate what Uber came to that address at 3703 Gazebo Lane?
Yeah, I confirmed the exact Uber.
And, Your Honor, may we approach the bench?
Yes?
We got another sidebar here.
Members of the jury, it's 5:10, so it's probably a good time for us to go ahead and break for the evening.
All right, so that's it. They called it. What do y'all think so far? Alicia was all up in there, plotting and scheming. She was there. Wild, man. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments in the chat. Alicia Andrews, not looking great. And there's going to be more information we're going to hear later, too. We're going to get into some of that tomorrow. Shout out to the gang. There's over 2,000 of y'all in the building. Thank you to everybody for liking the video as well. If y'all haven't yet, please make sure you like the video. Shout out to CPE over on the Cash App. For dropping the 5 bomb. For dropping the 10 bomb, actually. And then shout out to Spring Flowers for the 5 as well. CPE said, just say no to taxes. And then shout out to Spring Flowers, said warm ginger tea for the cough. Thank you so much. And then we also had a couple more super chats I wanted to read too before we get out of here. Shout out to J Money for reminding y'all to like the video. We had Amy in here with that cake. Shout out to Amy, reminding me that it's never too early, it's never too late for cake, and she's got it all. Thank you, Amy, for the cake. Thank you for the support and the super sticker. If y'all haven't yet, make sure you go check out Amy's channel. The link is in the description, and you can also find it in the chat. Go subscribe, hit the notification bell, watch every single video, and Don't miss when she premieres a video. She's been premiering a video nearly every day, and we're over there in the chat chopping it up, watching the crazy videos that she posts over there. So you'll find it entertaining. Make sure you go check it out. She also gifted 5 memberships. Excuse me. Make sure if you got a membership from Amy that you say thank you, show her some love. Check out the members only content that we have here, and you'll get your name highlighted in the beautiful green as well. Thank you, Amy, for the love and support. I love you and appreciate you. Awesome and amazing. Just saying with Alicia as well says, thank you for all the streams. You and Amy are amazing. So happy to be here every day with the ClassE fam. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody who went the extra mile and supported. I saw shout out to King Dot Care, Les Cleaver, Mary, Ducky Dexter, Just Saying with Alicia, CPE, Spring Flowers, and last but not least, my awesome, amazing Amy. We're going to get out of here. We'll be live tonight for Song of the Night Live. So if y'all want to check out some music from the independent artists in the community, make sure you stop by tonight. And then we'll be back tomorrow with another live stream as well. Y'all know what to do. Have a great rest of your day. And as always, keep growing, keep pushing, keep it classy. We gone. Peace. Appreciate y'all.